Hello, Assalamu alaikum. This is Ali. Welcome back to another podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the English Premier League और ज़्यादा मेरी expectations यही थी कि जो Monday की headlines या Monday night football होगा it'll be more focused on the game between Liverpool and Arsenal at the Emirates. Pretty exciting game, a draw being a fair result. But obviously जो ये bombshell news आई है सुबह of Erik Ten Hag finally finally being sacked by Man United, that's taken over the headlines and rightly so. I mean, I do say bombshell. बहुत से लोग कहेंगे it's not really a bombshell, it's not surprising, ये होना था, it was long overdue. Yes, it was long overdue, but I think the consensus amongst the board, especially जो खबरें बाहर आ रही थी, वो यही थी कि they're gonna give him enough time with the new system. But लगता है यही है कि their patience ran out a lot more quicker than what other people expected. Or, I mean, United are sitting 14th in the table, not really having many games in hand. So that is an exact depiction of where they are in terms of their footballing quality. Or Erik Ten Hag, the reason why it surprises me a little bit is कि Erik Ten Hag का एक सबसे बड़ा मसला था. I wouldn't say it was his playing style or him just not getting the players on board. It was the kind of signings he would go on to make. Or Manchester United pretty much said yes to everything that he wanted ever since he joined. Onana को sign करने से लेके Anthony की signing. And you did feel that with a different structure, maybe there was going to be a change in their philosophy in terms of how they go about in the transfer market. But they still let him make the same mistakes. I mean, bringing in Xerxes, yeah, Delicate, who's way off what he was maybe 4 years ago when he was playing for Ajax. So he spent 200 million again in this transfer window. And a manager who's been known for making horrendous transfers in the past or agreeing to or forcing horrendous transfers in the past in Man United, like of Sancho, yeah, obviously Antonio or Onana, the names that I just took. And then you allow that same manager to spend about 200 million again in the transfer window and you're sacking him 2 months later. I mean, as a club, this is an absolute joke. And this has to go down as a failure of the new system that Manchester United have on board. Because, I mean, uh, yeah, like everyone knew that. So Erik Ten Hag at the start of the season was probably everyone's first choice for the manager to be sacked. I know there's a race, and Big Ange is also in that race. Sean Dyche was in the race, but obviously with the recent results at Everton, he might be able to save his job for a while. But Erik Ten Hag एक short sack होने वाला manager था, and you let him spend 200 million, and now you have him sacked. But khair, whatever it is, I'm pretty sure Manchester United fans are happy with this. Liverpool fans, or me being a Liverpool fan, yeah, fans of the other teams, not really that happy because I mean, it was just becoming a guaranteed 3 points for any team, or West Ham showed that. I mean, Manchester United played a pretty decent game at the Hammers, but missed a few chances or end पे controversial penalty की वजह से they still ended up losing the game. So, is that going to change for Manchester United? It could very well change because Ruben Amorim is expected to take over at Manchester United, the very exciting manager, hailed as the new Jose Mourinho. He's being expected to take over at Manchester United. So like Ruben Amorim was pretty like well quoted by a few clubs. There was talks of him taking over at Liverpool once Jurgen Klopp leaves. There was talks of him taking over at West Ham. Apparently, he even gave an interview. Yeah, he gave an audition of sorts at West Ham, but things didn't work out. Maybe West Ham might have been better off with him as manager based on the recent start they've had, but still a little bit too early to say that. Liverpool के case में it was more to do with his playing style. Liverpool just felt that it would be easier for Arne Slot to transition into it and just take the team forward. But yeah, he could be a good manager for Manchester United, but it's another manager who hasn't really proven himself at the highest level. So how long do you give him? That's the first question. Can he turn things around with this squad? That's another question. Does he have enough money in the transfer budget to spend in January? So a lot of things to be taken out of this, and Manchester United might not like the January transfer window to have some reinforcements in the squad, yeah, to let players leave. And if Ruben Amorim has to stick to this squad till the end of the season and try to get the best out of them, I don't really think he'll be able to do that. And if Manchester United end up finishing in the bottom half, yeah, seventh, eighth, ninth in the table, though, it could get really problematic. But yeah, that's a big news. Absolutely gutted as a Liverpool fan that Erik Ten Hag is no more. I think he was just way too delusional, and I do feel the last 4 to 5 games where he was just making a mockery of things with his interviews had two draws versus FC 20 and Fenerbahce, and then he was praising the team for those results. But I mean, you get a point at FC 20 and you get a point away to Fenerbahce while you're playing in the Europa League, and you come out saying you're happy with the results. That's not the kind of manager Manchester United expect. And then going on about the two trophies that you won. So, yeah, good riddance if you're a Manchester United fan. Okay, moving on to Liverpool, we or Arsenal, we Liverpool at the Emirates. Everyone was talking about Arsenal having a lot of injuries, and even Mikel Arteta was able to play to that. Like, and they managed to field a pretty decent squad with the players that were available. Obviously, Odegaard is out for a long period of time, or Saliba is suspended. Like, and they were able to drag in Timber, who I think had a pretty decent game up till he had to leave because of his injury. Saka was starting the game. I was really surprised when I saw Saka because I kind of did not want him to do that. I feel that if Saka wasn't playing yesterday, we could have gone on to win the game, but obviously he was, and he got that first goal, making an absolute joke of Andy Robertson, who really needs to find his feet this season क्योंकि पिछले मैच में भी against Chelsea at Anfield he had a pretty hard time against Madueke. But with that being said, Liverpool, a lot of credit to them because Arsenal missing two players is big, right? Or three if you count Calafiori, but obviously it was either going to be him or Timber starting in. So I don't really think they had issues at left back. Right back, but yes, Thomas Partey played a pretty good job, but I think it was still a decent squad. A lot of people don't acknowledge the fact that Liverpool के भी players missing हैं. We don't have Alisson, who's probably the best keeper in the league, if not the world, or we're missing our Diego Jota, who always has a place in the starting 11 if he's fit. तो उस तरह से देखा जाए तो we had a couple of injuries as well, but yeah, I mean Arsenal obviously if you complain the most, then people listen to you the most, and everyone thought that they had things against them, which they probably did, but they're still a pretty decent squad at home. I mean, with 10 men, they were able to get a win at Manchester City, so you need to give them credit. और Liverpool के case में going down twice, once to a pretty good set piece that you couldn't do anything about, but probably the first goal could have been avoided if either Van Dijk rushed in to help Robertson out. Yeah, Robertson just played it safe and cleared the ball. Things could have been better. So yeah, I mean going down twice at the Emirates and coming back, and the kind of second half that Liverpool played changed the formation and just went at Arsenal, who were pretty happy to just sit back and defend. That was surprising for me. 60, 76, 77th minute when I saw Havertz or Martinelli, just taking the ball to the corner flag in their own half, and that's not the time you start defending a 2-1 lead against a team that has uh, Mo Salah and Darwin Núñez up front because they can cause some crazy things. Or Arsenal were just happy to defend. And I think that, like Jamie Carragher clearly mentioned, that they're transitioning from a Pep Guardiola team to more of a Jose Mourinho team. Obviously, people say Pep Guardiola because Mikel Arteta's inspiration is Pep Guardiola. So now they're transitioning more into a Jose Mourinho team, which is fine. I think defense does win you league titles, but nowadays when you're competing against Liverpool, yeah, even beyond that, if you're competing against Manchester City, a lot of draws are not going to get you the Premier League title. And I think Arsenal have already accumulated enough draws not to have a Premier League title. And they're visiting Newcastle United next without Gabriel, without Timber, without Calafiori, without Odegaard. I think probably it's going to be very hard for them to come back in the title race. Liverpool, on the other hand, getting a point away, not a bad result. 1 point behind Manchester City, new manager, no signings. I mean, you can try to play it down as much as you want, but Arne Slot has had a great start to the season and he's pretty calm. कल भी जब टीम 2-1 हारी हुई थी तो there was nothing crazy that he wanted from his players. Just change the tactics, brought in Dominic Szoboszlai, whose energy was probably missing in the first half, and just started to stretch the Arsenal team a lot more. And that resulted in them getting a well-deserved goal, or 2-2 being a fair result. And if anyone does say that 2-2 is a fair result at the Emirates, so you need to give credit to the visiting team because Emirates is not an easy place to play if you're playing against 11 men Arsenal. If you're not playing against 11 men Arsenal, if they're 10 men, then you can definitely try to go and win the game. So yeah, other than that, I mean, like the Premier League table is shaped up nicely. Manchester City easily beating Southampton. Chelsea had a pretty difficult game against Newcastle United, and they were one of my shouts for the top four at the start of the season. They still are, and I think they're going to finish because the players are slowly finding their form. Maresca has them playing how he wants them to. I would say if you've played Chelsea already, you're pretty lucky because as the season goes by, they're going to improve. And as a Liverpool fan, I would be very scared visiting them at Stamford Bridge after the new year, because I think they're just going to get stronger and stronger. They have a really good squad. They have really good players, young players on long contracts, and you just needed a tactician to get the most out of them and obviously get rid of some of the surplus waste that they would like to call, and they've done that. So yeah, they're headed in a pretty good direction. So I do expect Chelsea to be a pretty decent team this season. And yeah, so like just wanted to give you an update on the Premier League. Let me know how you feel. If you feel that 2-2 was a fair result for Liverpool v Arsenal, and if anyone or anything is going to stop Manchester City from winning another Premier League title this season. Leave your feedback in the comments below, ask your questions in the comments below. Please do like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.